Hey you guys, so we are getting close to wrapping up our 3D constellations. So let's check out the last few steps in order to complete this project. Here we go. So we can see the steps down below here, but remember these are also all in Buzz for you. So if it is a little small on the screen, just check out the step-by-step in Buzz as well. Or once again, that's what this video is for, right? Going through the step-by-step one at a time, but in video format. So here we go. Step number one is going to be to set up our workspace. Like you guys can see here, I've used a paper bag that I just cut open, but you could use newspaper, an old tablecloth, just, something so you're not getting your workspace all dirty. You might want to wear a smock. I have a wet rag here ready to go because we're painting, so we get a little messy when we're painting sometimes. At least I do. I actually have paint on my forehead right now. I don't know if you guys can see that. Got a little gold paint on me. That's okay. We'll need paint brushes, and we're going to need our light colored paints. I've chosen gold, but you could use white, yellow, silver. Any of those lighter colors that look kind of like a star color are going to work best for this project. So your first step, as of right now, you should have your 3 constellations built. So now we need to paint them, right? Because when they're built, they kind of, you can see the hot glue on it and stuff like that. So when we paint them, it just kind of ties it all together a little bit more, makes it look a little bit nicer. And the reason we're choosing these lighter colors is because, once again, we want it to look kind of like a constellation. And when we photograph them, so when we look at step number 3, you're going to photograph it onto a dark backdrop. So maybe, like I have a black tablecloth. That's what I'll probably be using for mine. Maybe you have a blue bed sheet, maybe a purple curtain, maybe you just have dark floors somewhere in your house. I even had some students go above and beyond, and they painted like a backdrop. Like they took a piece of cardboard or paper or whatever and like painted a dark backdrop and like splatter painted some white paint. So it looks really cool, like the night sky. And then the cool thing is when you've got these light colors painted onto our constellation and then you put it onto a dark backdrop, watch what happens. Like right now, kind of hard to see, but as soon as you put that on a dark backdrop, pow! It just like pops, right? How cool is that? And you can see I did nothing special with the painting. Like really all I did when I was painting this is I just took my paint and I just painted right on there, right? It's all one color, so nothing too special. You only have to paint one side of it. Some students are choosing to paint the back side too, but you wouldn't have to. But if you're going to plan on displaying it at your house, like more as a mobile or being hung up, then you might want to paint the back side. But as far as for this class, since we're just taking a picture of it onto a darker surface, you would only need to paint the one side. But you do need to paint all 3 of them. And you're going to photograph them. I've only got the 2 that are going to fit in here, but you're going to photograph them next to each other on a dark backdrop. And then, of course, once we've taken that picture, we want to upload that, have it into our RVA art folder. Then we're going to screenshot it or copy it, whatever works best, and paste it on in to our, there we go. We're going to paste it on into our art portfolio. And this is entry number 4. Okay, so right here, if you guys can kind of see down below, in that photo frame, that's where we're going to put that picture of our 3 constellations on the dark backdrop. Okay, hopefully this whole time you guys have been recording that time every day that you've been spending on this project, and putting that down below here in our time area. And then, of course, don't forget to add it all up, right? Add it up, and hopefully we got to that 10 hours. And then finally making sure that we're doing that self-assessment as far as like, how many hours did you put in? How much scale did you go from here to here? Did you go from here to here? So making that assessment on yourself by moving that circle. And then once we are ready, now this isn't going to be due until the end of next class, so the end of tomorrow. So not today, this isn't due. This is due tomorrow at the end of the day. But once we are ready, we're going to screenshot that, and then we're going to copy it and paste it into Buzz to submit it. So if you're wondering, wait, why do we have all this extra time? Because the painting's not going to take that long today. The painting's going to take a few minutes. The photographing doesn't take long. So what are we doing with tomorrow? Well, I have an extension activity for you guys. And so that's why there's a little bit of like a buffer day built in. Now, do you have to do the extension activity? No, it's going above and beyond. So if you choose to do that, fantastic, that's amazing. But I know some students want to go above and beyond and kind of do that bonus stuff. And some students just really need another day to get done. And so that's what this extension activity is added in there for. So some of us can go above and beyond, and some of us just have that extra day then to get the actual project done. So let's chat about that in just 1 minute, but I do want to talk about, so you've already got your picture from your art folder of your 3 constellations. It's on your clipboard, right? It is, because you just copied it and pasted it right into your art journal. So we're also going to want to, when we're done pasting it in there, head back, here we go, head back on in to Buzz. And at step 3, it tells you not just to upload it to your art portfolio, but that we're also going to share it in the RVA slides. This way your classmates can check out what you're doing. You can check out what your classmates are doing. We can share it with our teachers and show them what we're doing in our art class. Just a really great way to share what we're up to and build that community in our art class. So you can click on that right on in Buzz, Constellations to share, and all you would do is paste it right, pick a frame that you like and paste it right on in there, and then change it so it's your first name and the first letter of your last name. So for example, we can see a student's here, Maggie, and these are her constellations. She went above and beyond, as you can see, and actually made 6 constellations, made a cool backdrop for it with the black painted cardboard and the white sky, stars in the sky behind it to really just add an extra punch of amazingness. So feel free to put yours on in there too, so we can share that with everybody. All right, so let's go back into our art journal and chat about this top thing, right? It says link to your constellation story. And of course, whenever we're sharing a link, we need to make sure that we share it so that anyone in RVA or anyone with the link can view it. Because otherwise, if I click on your link in your art journal, it's going to go access denied, and then I can't see it. So once again, this part is an extension. It's optional. So if you've got the time, cool, go ahead and do that. And I love to read it. I love to see what you got going on. But for those of us that maybe don't have time for this extension, then you would have that extra work day to get the actual project done. So to do the extension portion of it, it's here in Buzz under where it says optional. Get started creating stories for your constellation. So you're going to click on that, and it's going to force you to make a copy. So yes, you're going to make a copy, and let's see, where's mine? Here it is. And this is what it's going to look like. So the first slide is actually just your cover and the back side of it. It's the second page that you're going to be filling in. And here's where you're going to put the 3 pictures of your 3 different constellations. You're going to name them here, here, and here. And then this is where your stories go. And I've got some prompting thoughts for you to create your stories. And if you're thinking, Mrs. Stinson, I just made this constellation up. Like it's not, it's not actually a real constellation. Well, I want you guys to think about it. The constellations we see in the sky, somebody hundreds and hundreds of years ago looked up and said, that kind of looks like a Big Dipper. Here's the story that goes along with it. Like all of them have a story made up about them, right? So you're just making up your own story about your own constellations that tell who you are as a person. So once again, there are some prompting thoughts and questions in there. You can definitely use those, or do your own creative writing too. If you want to go off the questions here, cool, or do your own. Either way is perfectly fine. So what do we have to do for tomorrow before it's due? We have to have all 3 constellations painted, take a picture on a dark backdrop, post it into our entry 4, fill out the rest of entry 4, screenshot it, turn it into Buzz. What are the 2 optional things? Putting the pictures into our shared slides for our classmates and other people to view, as well as that extension activity with writing a story about your constellations. Hope you guys have fun. See ya.